Hi, my name's Jasmine Swift, and I am an aspiring life coach. I've radically changed my life over the last few years. Like, it's insane when I really look at the last 7 years and what I've done, and where I was, and where I am now. So, I hope that in my long, deep journey with finding out who I truly am and finding peace and love in this time of my life, that I can somehow inspire you and create that change within yourself. I truly believe that if we all follow the things in this book that I have right here, it can and it will lead to spiritual and mental happiness. Let's get into it. I had a radical mindset shift. And when I say that you have to change your mindset, you cannot be Miss Negative Nancy and think that you're gonna have it all. It doesn't work like that. Your reality, everything around you, is based upon what you believe. Your belief system within your brain, your subconscious. What do you say to yourself? How do you talk to yourself when no one's around? I had to really start sitting there and getting in tune with what's going on around me. That right there, that one thing alone probably took me 2 or 3 years alone to change. But it's so worth it. Because once you realize how important that mindset shift is and having a positive and optimistic look on your life, your future, it's okay. You're good, babe. Once you figure that out and realize how important it is to have a positive and optimistic outlook on your life and what you want out of life, and having a clear vision and knowing this is what I want and this is what I see and I will do whatever it takes to get it, that is when the world will bend to you and your will. Number 2, releasing negative energy and people. Actually, I know, listen, this is my channel and I get to do what I want. So this is actually number 1. Releasing all negative energy and people. How can you have a positive mindset if everything around you is negative? It just doesn't work like that. How can you support yourself and love yourself if the people and things around you don't foster that? If there's a boyfriend, a husband, a family member, whatever it is, if you speaking to them and telling them that you don't like something and that it affects you negatively doesn't do the trick, then it's time to cut it out. And I'm just being honest. And if it's a husband and that's something that you really don't want to do because you believe in marriage, which I totally do as well, you need to speak to them, and if that doesn't work, you need to go to God, because that may not be the right situation for you, or it may be, and you may have to just say, well, until you figure it out, I'm doing what I need to do. Friends, got to go. It doesn't matter. If it doesn't serve you, it must go. You've got to put yourself first, because if not, it can be at the detriment of your children and your children's children. Do you understand? Number 3. This is totally optional, but for me, it was a must. Environment change. I grew up in a seriously impoverished area. It's very country, very small town. We had one stoplight, and there was nothing but negativity, sadness, sorrow, people feeling bad for themselves. You either worked at your local food line as a manager, or like you went off to college and you came back home and did something at home and made less than what you were worth. And that just was not it for me. I always knew I was meant for something better. So when I got the chance to go, and I did, it changed my life radically. So an environment change may be what you need. And sometimes it's not even moving from a state or a county or a city. Sometimes it's just your home that you live in. Your parents aren't treating you right. You know, your roommate is horrible. Like, these things matter because it fosters how you feel day to day. You need to be in a stress-free environment so that you can move on to the next steps. Next. It's really important, and I think this is top tier, and I'm going to put this as number 4, but finding God or in higher power, reading and believing the words in which that your higher power speaks, there is something to that. And I'm not trying to sit here and say, because I know a lot of people don't believe in religion, and neither do I. I believe in faith. I believe in a God who loves you, sees you, and knows your value better than you do. If you have been accepting horrible behavior and mistreatment as I did, everything that I say, please do not take it as judgment. I'm speaking to myself when I'm speaking to you. If you accept partners, friends, family member, anything who treats you less than you are worth, and you know it deep down, you know it doesn't feel good, you need a higher power who is willing to speak life and love into you, even if nobody else will. That, reading the word, reading God's word for me, has done something, has done more for me than anything on this list. Number 5, start seeking your personal purpose. I'm going to read something to you. Joshua 18, verse 3. So Joshua said to the Israelites, "How long will you wait before you begin to take possession of the land that the Lord, the God of your ancestors, has given you?" How long? And I read that today and I said, ooh. And if you know anything about the Bible, and if you don't, I'm going to tell you. Once the Israelites left Egypt and was allowed to leave and go, Moses was to take the Israelites to their promised land that God had promised them. And it took them 40 years to get to the promised land. Y'all, the promised land was only an 11-day journey, and it took them 40 years. Think about that. And the only reason they did was because the people were so stubborn. They did not follow his commands. All because they were stubborn. They were in their own will. They were in their own world. They were so focused on all the other wrong things. I lived a life like that. I was completely focused on the wrong things. And I am now 32, wishing I knew what I know now at 19. It could have changed my life. So I say that to say, finding and seeking your own personal purpose is so deep, because you need to know what your gifts are. God has given us 19 gifts in the Bible to research and define. You can take tests on these things now. We live in an age where the information is right at our fingertips. You can literally go take a personality test. You can literally find out what all the gifts of the Bible are that are for each of us. And once you figure out where you stand and what your true gifts are, you can actually find out what careers and what things you can do to foster those gifts. And take those personal gifts that God has given you, that seed that God planted in you, and allow it to grow and become your purpose. And then when you bring everything around that one purpose, it turns into fruit. You garden it and you garden it, and then you never worry about where your money's gonna come from again. You never worry about, how do I feel fulfilled? You're using your gifts, and stop worrying about other people's gifts. Stop looking at other people's gifts and wanting their gifts. I've done it. Envy. Scrolling on TikTok, scrolling on social media. I gave up social media. I'm not even gonna lie. YouTube is the only thing I got right now. I stopped Facebook, I stopped TikTok, I stopped all of it because I was obsessed. I was doom scrolling. And that was just January 19th. I gave it up. And I decided I was ready to go full throttle in whatever it is my purpose is. And I found it. When I gave that stuff up, I found it. I found the love that was put in me. And it's been amazing ever since. Next thing is called the big 3. It's what I like to call my holy trinity. These are the things that I do every day, each and every day, to wake up. And by the end of the day, I always feel good because I've always accomplished something. Doing something for your mind, your body, and your soul. I truly believe that exercise is not just meant for your body. You need to get up and do something for your body. You need to go walk, dance, work out, whatever that is for yourself, stretch, Pilates, whatever it is. You need to exercise your mind. You should be curious and seeking out anything that you're interested in. Spend 30 minutes a day learning something new, reading a new book, opening your mind to new ideologies, principles, whatever it is. I do it every single day, and it has made me feel so good. It feels like I'm constantly learning. Like, I don't care if I'm 90, I'm going to do this every single day. Finally, your soul. Yeah, your soul. You need to exercise your soul. You need to be reading the word. That's just my personal preference. I need to read the word, but if whatever your thing is, if you believe something else, I understand, and I'm not knocking it. But for me, the love of God, being a Christian, it helped me so much because of the teaching of forgiveness and the non-judgment within the Bible. If you went to a church and you were judged, chances are you were at a place full of religion and not full of faith. Do not let your offense by another person who called themselves a Christian, which they probably were, but they are human just like the rest of us. Do not let them lead you away from God. Importantly, hi. Number 7, forgiveness. Oh yeah. That one thing, let me tell you something. Forgiveness saved me. I needed to be able to forgive others who have wronged me, hurt me, offended me, and did me dirty in order to move on with my life. Because fostering that hate, that resentment, that just icky negative feelings that I had inside my body, it only held me down and depressed me while other people kept moving on and living their lives. You must learn to forgive, and you must learn to forgive yourself. And not only forgive yourself because you want to be forgiven, but because God forgave all of us for our sins. So please, let it go. And this is coming from someone whose parents wronged them in many ways, who went through a very tough childhood. I could choose to let everything that I went through as a child truly shape my future, but I won't. Everything I went through was a stepping stone for my good. Best believe it. And if you read the word, you'll find that out too. Number 8, community. Community is oh so important. The people that you have around you, the people that you allow in your life, the people who are there to lift you up are the most important that you'll ever seek. My pastor a couple weeks ago was talking about how community can either carry you to Jesus or carry you from Jesus. And if you don't believe in Christian faith, your community can either carry you to goodness or they can carry you to darkness, period. That's just the truth. So are you going to be in the current of goodness or darkness? Do you want to be depressed, anxious, or do you want to be fulfilled? Do you want people who can pick you up when you are down? Who, when there is going to be a time where you may lose a loved one, where you may not get the job that you were kind of hoping for, there are going to be those people, and those people will pick you up. They're not going to hand you a drink and tell you to drown it all in sorrow. Just saying. Focus. Number 9. As someone with ADHD, when you finally achieve all of these, when you know what your vision is and what you want your life to be over the next 10 years, and you finally, it feels so good when you finally find that out, you must focus and leave all distractions in the dust. And I say this so you guys, from someone who probably, if you looked at my phone a couple months ago and how much I was on my phone, it is tragic. You need to let go of the distraction. You have to stop making excuses. What did I just say a little bit ago? How long will you wait before you begin to take possession of the land that the Lord your God, of your ancestors, has given you? How long? I'm 32, about to turn 32. And I want what He's promised me. I want to feel that fulfillment. And I'm only saying all these things because I know that there's somebody out there who feels this, who needs this, who wants what I found. I know I'm not the only one who was lost and broken and needed a shining light and a guide on what to do next. I hope that all of this was a blessing to someone. And I hope that this information gets to the person who needs to hear it today. And whoever you are loved, you are wonderful, you will get there, and you will be fruitful one day. So take it easy on yourself, love yourself, allow yourself to imagine again. It's okay. You deserve it. It's time to stop living in a land of negativity and start living in the world of an imagination. Go be blessed and be fruitful. Bye, guys.